Um, Dear Bante, could you kindly teach us the relationship between uh, um, the sila, concentration, and wisdom? How do they support each other in our practice?
The Buddha saw that there is a problem in the world. He saw that there is danger, that there is lack of safety. There is lack of safety, there is absence of safety from birth, old age, illness, and death. There is absence of safety from being born in hell as an animal, as a ghost. And so the Buddha taught his teachings as a means to achieve that safety, to achieve safety from birth, old age, illness, and death, to achieve safety from being born in hell as an animal, as a ghost. To give a metaphor that we know very well today, we can talk about a house. A house is supposed to provide you with safety. Safety from the sun, safety from the rain, safety from the cold, safety from the robbers, safety from uninvited animals, wild animals, and ideally also insects, and also safety from disease. So if we take Nibbana, the goal of the Buddha's teachings, as the ultimate safety, then we can use this metaphor of house that is supposed to provide you with safety. To better understand how is Sila Samadhi Panya, that means virtue, concentration, or meditation, and actually Sila Samadhi Panya is commonly translated by Burmese masters as virtue, concentration, and insight. So their Samadhi is understood as Samatha, and Panya is understood as Vipassana. So great Burmese masters, rather than Sila Samadhi Panya, like to say Sila Samatha Vipassana. Okay. So let's take it in that manner. But you can take it as Samadhi Panya in terms of Samadhi as meditating gradually and Panya gradually achieving insight, the stream entry, once return, non-return, and arahanthood. In any way you take it is fine. But in this case, because these are three things that need to be practiced rather than two things to practice and one thing to achieve, we will keep Samadhi as Samatha practice and Panya as Vipassana practice. Then in that case, it's as if you are going to build a house. To build a house, you will need some bricks. You will probably need some concrete. You will probably need some metal. You will probably need some pipes. You will probably need some other material. These bricks, these concrete and tools and pipes and metal and zinc or whatever, zinc sheets for the roof or whatever is the thing that you want to use for your roof, these in this metaphor are like your good karma, your generous actions that you did in the past and that provide you now with the potential to actually start doing anything at all. So your generous actions, and generosity always means giving when we talk about it in Buddhist terminology, in Buddhist books or Buddhist talks. So whatever you gave to good, virtuous people, and even to not virtuous people, whatever you gave that was valuable, that you had, and that somehow satisfied the need of those other people, of those virtuous or non-virtuous people, those were your good merits. Those were your good deeds. These good deeds of giving bring about a potential for fulfilling your wishes, a potential for supporting you in that what you want. So you need to have this potential. You can get this potential only by giving. There is no other way to get that. So that's why generosity is a very important start before you actually get to the practice. If you dedicated yourself to generosity, to generous acts of giving, then you have the material to build. That means you have the potential to practice. With this material to build, you can start building. And you start building the floor, the base. Building the floor is like practicing your virtue, practicing the 5 precepts, 8 precepts, becoming a novice, becoming a nun, becoming a monk. Virtue, therefore, is the basis of everything. Your virtue must be excellent. It must be dependable, reliable. It must be very strong, because just the basis is not very useful for you. Well, the basis a little bit protects you from the cold ground, but still it doesn't protect you. The base, the floor, does not protect you from the wind, from the sun, from the wild animals, from the robbers, and so on. You have built nice floor. It's strong and steady. It's reliable, but that's not enough. You will need to continue by building the walls. And building the walls is like practicing concentration practice by dedicating yourself to meditation on breath, or meditation on loving kindness, meditation on the white color or yellow color or blue color or red color, or meditation on the Buddha's qualities or Dhamma qualities or Sangha qualities, meditation on compassion, on altruistic joy, on equanimity, meditation on various parts of the body, concentration practice, meditation on the earth element, on the water element, on the fire element, on the air element, meditation on light, meditation on space, and so on. Meditation on generosity, meditation on the fact that deities are born through following precepts in their past life, meditation on your virtue, meditation on peace, meditation on death, meditation on repulsiveness of food. And this meditation can help you gradually achieve strong foundation. What is that strong foundation? Peace. It can protect you from many things. Actually, when you have your walls, you're pretty well protected. Not so well, you don't have the roof yet, but you're pretty well protected from wild animals, from robbers, from the wind. You're protected from from quite a few diseases that way, and you have achieved, therefore, a kind of safety. So meditation on concentration is very powerful, and the results are immense. Those who achieve deep levels of concentration, they can be born in the next life in the Brahma world. And thus they're protected for a long time, for many, many eons, for billions and billions of years. So building the walls is a pretty good thing. It's difficult as well. But suppose that your floor would not be reliable, that it would not be strong enough. Well, then the walls will crumble like the floor. So your floor needs to be strong, and the stronger is your floor, well, then the better, the safer, the easier will be for you to build the walls. And in all that process of building the floor and building the wall, you either have good material or you have bad material. Well, how do you get good material? By a lot of generous actions, by a lot of giving. When you give what you have, when you give food, clothes, place to stay, medicine, to people, to animals, to living beings, then gradually you get more and more material for your building of your safety. Giving is the ultimate basis of your potential to practice, to progress. So when you have built these walls, when you have developed your peace, when you have developed your concentration, you then are safe. And you are not only safe passively, but you're also safe actively. How are you safe actively? Through peace. You're safe actively because you then, whatever you say, whatever you do it through great power of the mind. What is this great power? That it is free from the five hindrances. Because concentration in the deeper levels actually involves the freedom from the five hindrances, from lust, from ill will, from laziness, restlessness, and doubt. Because these five hindrances do not arise anymore, well, then whatever you say, whatever you do is very high quality, is very good, is very noble. But be careful, in that case, the five hindrances are just suppressed, they're not removed. It is as if you hide the dirt under the carpet or under the rug. And then you think, oh, now it's nice. It is nice. It is absolutely nice. But if somebody uncovers the carpet, then sorry. And when you keep the dirt under the carpet, there may be some bacteria and things gradually populating and reproducing. So it may actually become worse and worse as the time goes, when the time is up, such as when you end up in the world of Brahmas, then you may be born again as a human. You may be born then in hell as an animal, as a ghost. The Buddha said that those who do not follow the Buddha's teachings, they achieve jhanas, they are born in the Brahma world, and then they are born in hell. Those who follow the Buddha's teachings, they are they achieve the jhanas, they are born in the Brahma world, and then they achieve the full Nibbana. You see? So it's very important to add the true, the ultimate safety precaution, the ultimate safety aspect, and that is the roof. To build your roof, again, your floor and your walls need to be high quality and very strong. High quality you get by generosity, very strong you get by the practice. For the floor, practice of virtue. For the walls, practice of your concentration. If your practice of generosity, virtue, and concentration are very strong, very well developed, well, then it is not difficult to build a roof. But if you do not have very strong, very high quality roof and walls, well, then building the floor and the walls, well, then building the roof will not be that easy. And even if you build the wall, it will not be real wall. If you build the roof, it will not be the real roof. It will be a fake roof, not really safe roof. If the roof then falls on you, then you're dead. So that didn't help much. So you need to be careful to build a roof that is truly safe, that is truly reliable. For that, you need to have very high quality material. We are again back at the generosity. Generosity is the absolute requirement for having the potential to achieve enlightenment. You do not need so much of generosity to achieve jhanas, but you need extraordinary generosity, extraordinary giving to achieve nibbana. Well, the more you want, the more you need to work for that, right? That makes sense. But if you want to get BA degree, there is a certain amount of studying and working hard. Well, if you want to have PhD degree, well, you will have to work harder. Similarly, if you want to get safety from concentration practice, there is an amount of generosity needed to do. But if you want to get insight, if you want to get nibbana, well, then of course you need to do much more generosity. You need to do much more giving. So for such giving, for such giving that can allow you to achieve enlightenment, you need to seek opportunity to give every time, as much as possible. You think, oh, is there somebody who needs something? Is there somebody who could benefit from something that I have? If you see a poor person, if you see a friend, if you think about your relative, your dad or mom or your brother or sister, is there something they need? Can I give them some food or some place to stay? Can I at least get them to my home to live there for some time? You do not need to give. If you provide, that also is donation. So if you do not need to give house to have giving of place to stay, if you allow somebody to stay with you at home for a few days or for a few months, that also is giving of place to stay. If everybody allows that, well, then the person who gets it just has to change the places, but always has the place. So the result, the practical result is there. The person gets a place to stay. So providing is also very powerful. You do not need to give. Well, for clothes, it's of course better to give. But the point here is that even just lending is very powerful. Then whenever you get an opportunity to support somebody, to give somebody something you have, something that's valuable for you, it's very important to make use of that opportunity. And the more difficult it is, the more powerful it is. It doesn't mean that all things that you eat, you just need to give to somebody and starve yourself to death. No, there is never such case in the scriptures. We never go to the extreme of putting ourselves into suffering. But we can reduce our luxury so that another person is not poor, or so that another person has what they need. And we can specifically do that so that we achieve Nibbana. You do not need to worry, oh, wait, so I'm doing it for myself, am I not? No, that's actually okay. You're doing it for yourself, but practically you do it for the other one, and that's what matters. The other one does get it. What you think doesn't matter much, but if you know through your wisdom that this will support you on your path, well, then that actually increases the merit. The Buddha says the donation of wise person involves the understanding of the consequences of the donation. So when you dedicate yourself to these thoughts and inventions of opportunities to give, to support, to lend, to provide, then you gain a lot of merit. To this level, it doesn't have to be from a past life. It can be actually this very life. As much as possible, you think how you can give. As much as possible, you think, what do you have? And how can this, what you have, benefit someone else? Either by giving or by lending, ideally by giving and lending. Whatever you can lend, you lend. Whatever you can give, you give, maintaining your health, maintaining your ability to, again, get more and more things so that you can give and lend more and more things. Okay, that's why the most praised Buddhist followers of the Buddha were kings and rich men and rich women. So it's very important for Buddhists to be very rich, to have a lot of property, to have a lot of things, so that they can also give a lot, they can lend a lot, they can provide a lot, they can support a lot. Okay, so when you are very keen on giving, then your Vipassana practice will have very interesting progress. It is a little harder to see the connection between giving and the Vipassana progress because the connection is a kammic connection, and kamma is hard to understand, but it is there. And I'm talking here from my own experience. Giving, the dedication, the full dedication to giving is very powerful. I remember when I started following the Buddha's teachings, I read in a book something that probably the Buddha didn't say, but it was pretty well written, which says, the Buddha says, if the people knew how much just giving the last morsel of their food, the last lump of their food, would give them benefit, they would definitely give much more. Maybe the Buddha said it somewhere, but I don't remember reading it in Pali language. And I thought, that's true. So I'm here, I lived with my dad, and I thought, so now you know what I will do? Whatever I cook, I will cook also for my dad. And I thought, and I did not really understand properly how to do that, but my first idea was that whenever I eat, I will eat with my dad from the same plate. So I prepared food in the same plate, and I would get my dad to eat exactly at the same time as me. So that's not necessary, absolutely not. But the point here is that when you have somebody at home, or when you have opportunity to give to something to someone, you prepare more meal, or you get more of the clothes or more of the things, so that you can then easily share it with the other person. With this extraordinary giving, your Vipassana practice will then progress in two ways. Number one, when you get meditation instruction for insight, you will better understand it. Number two, when you apply that instruction, that application, that practice itself will go well. Both of these are very important aspects for the practice. If you do not understand the instruction, the practice cannot progress well. If you understand the instruction, that's not enough, because you need to have progress in the practice. So you need to fully understand the instruction, fully understand it, remember it, and have faith in it, so that you really apply it all. Not that you just select, oh, these things make sense to me, those things are maybe not important, so you apply what you want. No, it's very important to take the instruction, understand it, and follow it entirely without leaving off any single word. Then, because you understand fully the instruction, exactly word by word, letter to letter, then as you apply it, thanks to your extraordinary generosity, generous intentions, generous actions, then your practice progresses. It progresses gradually from first understanding the difference between the body and the mind. So you understand, indeed, the body is, the mind is. Yes, they are arising, passing, and so on. But you cannot say that there is no body, there is only mind. You also cannot say that there is only matter, there is no mind. You cannot say that there is only mind, there is no matter. There is always the body and matter. Both of them are here. This is the essential start of your insight practice. When you understand that indeed there is body, there is mind, you gradually understand the differences, and you're able to distinguish them well from one from another. As you distinguish as you distinguish, is that? You see, as you distinguish your as you distinguish the body from the mind, you gradually understand their impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, not self. You understand how the mind arises based on the body, based on the matter, and therefore you see that if the body is impermanent, unsatisfactory, not self, well, then that follows that the mind also must be impermanent, unsatisfactory, not self. If the body is not worthy of attachment, of boasting, of appreciation, well, then the mind is also not worthy of attachment, of boasting, of appreciation. If the body is not reliable, well, then the mind is also not reliable. You gradually understand the dependence of the body and the mind on each other, and then gradually you develop the very powerful vision of arising, passing moments of consciousness, and gradually you detach from everything in the world, gradually, therefore, understanding not self to a deeper and deeper level, all the way to the stage where you achieve full understanding of not self, full understanding of the Four Noble Truths, and achieve the full liberation, the ultimate safety from birth, old age, illness, and death.